Law of assumption has healed my BPD in so many ways. I found law of assumption 5 years ago. I found law of assumption 5 years ago. I found law of assumption when my borderline personality disorder was like the worst it's ever been. It was the worst it's ever been. I was literally going insane. I was driving everyone around me away from me. No one fucking liked me. No one liked me because I was just so chaotic 24/7. I was so chaotic. I was so chaotic. The thoughts that I was having was so chaotic. I was harming myself constantly. I was on a fucking spiral. Like, I was just off the wall. And I have never, ever since I found law of assumption, I have never gone back to that place. I've never gone back to that place. And here's how law of assumption has helped me. Learning that my thoughts create and that I have power over my thoughts, it motivated me. It motivated me because I was like, okay, I don't have to be in this loser mindset, because I feel like with my borderline personality disorder, I was constantly in this mindset where I would be triggered, and then something would trigger me, and then I would get into this like loser victim mindset that just sent me into a spiral. I would think like, oh my god, everyone always leaves me, this bad shit's always happening to me, this my life is just going to be horrible forever. But finding LOA motivated me. Learning that I had power over my thoughts, that my thoughts create, motivated me to really stay on top of my thoughts. Because the thing is with borderline personality disorder, you have to be mindful of your thoughts, and with law of assumption, you also have to be mindful of your thoughts. So creating that mental diet and that awareness of what was going on in my mind made it to where I could stop these spirals or these splitting episodes before they could get to the point where I'm actually acting out and actually genuinely splitting and going crazy. Because the thing is with borderline, it always starts in your head. It always starts with your thoughts. Every single time a split episode happens, it always starts with your thoughts. Your mind just starts throwing out these little thoughts at you, and you bite the bait. You bite the bait because those thoughts have such a emotional toll. Like those thoughts are so enticing. There's so much emotion behind those thoughts. Even at the very beginning of an episode, before it even starts to go into a full-on episode, at the very beginning of an episode, your mind is throwing out these little thoughts, and there's so much emotion behind those little thoughts, and so you bite them, you pay attention to them, you buy into these thoughts. And with law of assumption, I learned to be aware of these thoughts before they get out of control, and to stop myself right then and there from buying into these thoughts, learning that I had an option whether I wanted to buy in or buy out of these thoughts, and so now when I could feel myself having an episode, or I can feel triggered, I can be aware that it's just my thoughts, that it's just a mental illness, period. That's all it is. And it's not me. And I can stop them right then and there. And I could go in with my affirmations and tell myself the opposite, and tell myself, this is I'm just having these thoughts because of my mental illness. These thoughts are not a product of my reality, they're a product of my mental illness. And I've gotten really good at what thoughts to tell, or what affirmations to tell myself when I'm getting into those episodes. So now it's like I rarely ever spiral because I stop it before it could even begin, and I just feel like I can't remember the last time I had an extreme episode because of law of assumption. And I learned that a lot of the things that, these people abandoning me and these negative cycles, I was manifesting it because I was getting so sucked in to these negative thoughts I was having. Now I don't manifest it anymore. I never, ever, ever have people leave my life anymore. The last time I had someone leave my life was 5 years ago. I keep all of my friendships now. I keep all of my relationships now. I have never had a person since then stop being friends with me, leaving my life in any type of way. I've been able to maintain all of my relationships in a healthy way. And it's all because of law of assumption and what it's taught me about my own brain, what it's taught me about my own life and my thoughts, and giving me the motivation and the skills to be able to deal with my own thoughts. I've gotten really good at creating affirmations for myself when I'm in the moment. So if you are someone who also struggles with borderline personality disorder or just overthinking and anxiety in general, and you need help, you feel like you need help on how to manage yourself in those moments where you feel yourself about to split, please go ahead and shoot me an email and we can set up some type of structure to where you are prepared and I can create affirmations for you and everything. But I would need to get to know you and your situation first. You know what I mean? So we could set something up to where I could create a plan for you to use LOA to your benefit to help with your borderline personality disorder. That way you can live your life the same way I've been able to live my life for the past 5 years, not having any major episodes, major splits, not being anywhere near the person I was back then, anywhere near the circumstances that I was in back then. I mean, my life was so miserable. My life was so fucking miserable, and it was all because of myself. It was all because of my thoughts. So I would love to help you guys out, especially because there's not a lot of coaches that talk about this stuff in terms of law of assumption. There's not a lot of coaches that talk about mental illness and law of assumption. It's kind of taboo, I think. But I'm someone who has a lot of experience with mental illness and extreme trauma throughout my life. And I have used law of assumption to my advantage to cope with that throughout my life. So I would love to help anyone. So like I said, if you are someone who also deals with borderline personality disorder, please shoot me an email. We can set up some type of coaching and I can create a whole plan, whole structure for you to be able to be your best self with law of assumption, using law of assumption to your full advantage to help with this mental illness. Know that you guys are never alone. I'm always here. Please comment down below if you guys have any questions. Email me if you want coaching. Yeah, I love you guys and have a great day.